It's time for the Joy of Blue, a collaboration where we craft using the color of blue and share our projects with you. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome back. And like I said, today I'm sharing with you the projects I made for the Joy of Blue collaboration. It is hosted by Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and it's just encouraging us to play with the color of blue in our crafting. And there are other participants linked in the description box below sharing their projects they made for the month of April as well. The month of April, I am focusing on scraps, cardstock, pattern paper, it doesn't matter. And I'm also trying to use up sentiments from my pre-stamped or pre-printed sentiment stash. So I've made kind of just a random variety of cards using blue cardstock and some pattern paper with some other colors also mixed in just to kind of complement them. I have a few mini slimline cards, so they are 3.5 by 6 inches. And I went through some of my pattern paper and cardstock and took some smaller pieces to make some scraps, or use the scraps to do some die cutting. And then after I did the die cutting, I tried to mix those in with pattern paper on my card. So I'll kind of show you here real quick what I have. I have some words, hello, thanks, a couple different hellos, thanks, wishes that I can use with birthday for birthday wishes. I have a ton of flowers. I pulled out all my flower dies and just kind of created some. Some are layered up, some are just single layer. Have a couple different types of coffee cups and kind of layered those up with some different patterns or some different elements. And then I have butterflies and stars and popsicles. So really kind of a wide variety. I was just looking for dies that would fit the scraps that I had. So this one I just paired some pattern paper for a mat with my thanks word and my layered flower, and I did kind of shadow the thanks a little bit with a lighter color so it would stand out. Here I paired 2 larger flowers with some cardstock and pattern paper, and then just a simple thank you. This one I brought in a bunch of the stars and kind of created it kind of like a boy's birthday card. This one, I know these 2 patterns originally went together, but then I brought in this one because it kind of tied in and it kind of helped transition the busier patterns, and then just used a happy, happy, happy sentiment. These were already in my stash that was already stamped and colored, and I already had the sending you an old-fashioned birthday card in my pre-stamped sentiment stash, and so I just paired those with some scraps on that one. And now I'm kind of into my A2 cards, A2 size, so 4.25 by 5.5. This one was printed a sentiment printed from my silhouette, and then I just again paired it with a couple different pattern scraps and layered those together. Birthday card, brought in some of the stars with those patterns. This one I thought was really pretty. I brought in one of my mugs, and then I had this thanks a latte stamp sentiment already in my stash, and so I just kind of paired it with some gray embossed cardstock, and then was trying to use up some of the strips that I had, so I just brought one in down here. So very simple but pretty. And then I had some journal cards that were meant for card making, and are they simple stories? They're either simple stories or photo play, I don't remember. So I had a lot of this turquoise in my blue stash, and so I decided to bring a couple of those in and just kind of again paired it with cardstock mat, brought in that polka dot, and then added some of the flowers that were on my desk from another project, just because they tied in with the colors on that snail. Here, 2 of my coffee cups I got to use up for We Are the Perfect Blend. This one was just a white embossed piece that I received in some happy mail from Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Thank you, Sarah. Put this one to good use. And then some of my flowers and my hello, one of my hello sentiments. And this one is, I believe, doubled up, just to give it a little bit extra thickness. So this one, I decided to use a popsicle and kind of brought in some of the fun blue patterns. So this is actually clouds, and it is kind of oriented the wrong way, but you can't really tell once you add all the other layers in. And then I had like some pool water paper, and so I just decided to combine those all together and use one of my popsicles with a smiley face on it and the "You're Awesome" sentiment. So this is the kind of card that would be great either for cards for hospitalized kids or for the Cards for Cubs that just ended. A lot of the other ones I will probably be donating to Cards for Soldiers. A lot of people have asked me if I still do Cards for Soldiers, and I do. I had just been focusing on some other things recently. Thought this one would make a good boy's birthday card. Brought in some blue star paper, and then I found this partial circle in my stash. So I thought it would be a good accent to the blue, and then just brought in a whole bunch of the stars, die cuts, and punches, and used to make a wish. This one, I used a couple of my butterflies, and since I already had a card mat here with this, I decided to just go ahead and use them all together because the colors, didn't want to have to try and like match something up later. Just thought I would be matchy-matchy here. So brought in the two butterflies I had with that pattern, and then just did happy birthday in the center. Be a good girl's birthday card. This is another one of those journal cards that I had that worked well with the colors, and then again just brought in I found some of the pattern paper scraps I had that had like some of that, you know, orange in it, so kind of helped tie in the colors a little bit. This time I used a coffee cup and a flower from the Thanks a Latte. This one, I was just trying to use some of the wood grain patterns together, and so just kind of layered them up and then had that stamped. This was a die cut that I had cut out of some white wood grain pattern paper, and then I had stamped on it, and that's been in my stash for a while. So got to use that up. So here's two where I used the same strips and just kind of did them a little differently. Here I like kind of layered them all the way across the card and used this layer to kind of separate the other two. This one I kind of did it where the larger button was the focal point, and this was kind of an accent strip. And then just used, on both of these, I just used the excess of, there was another coordinating strip of this polka dot, and this is the back side of the plain polka dot. So all of these are actually from like the same paper line, I think. I don't remember what it was from. All I had were the strips left. And some of you have asked me before if I ever stamp on the insides of my cards. So here I did Bundle of Joy on the front, and then I also already had some pre-stamped Welcome Babies in my stash, and so I decided to go ahead and put that on the inside just so that, you know, it actually gives you like a congratulations or welcome baby sentiment. So, and I don't usually stamp on the insides of the cards I'm going to donate, but this time I did. And then whenever I cut my 8.5 by 11 sheets down into the mini slimline cards, I have kind of an odd size left, and it is 8.5 by 5. And so I just decided to turn it into just a smaller version of an A2, so it's, you know, only a 1/2 inch smaller. And I had a couple of strips that actually fit that size perfect. So these anchors, this is 2 strips pieced together, and then I just covered it with a little white vinyl sticker strip here. And then I found in my stash, they're like real, like tin almost, like really thin bronze or rusted look metal pieces that were, you know, nautical related. And so I just brought those in and used those up. It doesn't add a whole lot of extra weight or dimension, so, but it does add a lot of interest. So I thought that was kind of cool. So then just used thank you on that one. And this one I've used a little sailboat with a thinking of you. This one this was actually 2 different pieces of scrap, and just trimmed, I think I just had to trim this one down a little bit to fit the same width as this top piece, and just kind of left a little white area there, just kind of left the gap, and then used some of my flowers and a circle sentiment together. And then this one, again, some of my flowers and thank you. And I have not had a chance to go through and add scraps on the insides of all of my cards yet, but I'm not done with the blue scraps. This was just all I had time to make, and so I did get a bunch of cards made up, kind of like quick and easy cards, and then I have all of my die cuts that I can still use on future cards. So again, I'm playing with scraps all month this month, and so there will be more cards to come, and I will kind of finish up the blue, hopefully along with some of the other colors that I have as well. And I do hope to have some process videos out for you on using scraps this month. So please be sure to check out the other participants using blue this month as well. And I thank you guys, as usual, so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.